Hello friends, it's me, self-critical Automaton, and it's a lovely spring day. It's a lovely spring day, and I'm going to run around grabbing items. There's not going to be much to do today, but I'm going to ramble about where we're going next, which is the grave of Artorias. Knight Artorias, one of the 4 Knights of Gwyn, very famous figure in this world. Yeah, these guys are chill now, which is good. I don't have to worry about them, you know, being dicks and trying to murder me. Now, there's a whole bunch of items that I really want to get. Not for any particular reason, I suppose. I just feel like there's a sense of completionism to it, you know? And I'm stuck in trees. But it's been such a long time since I, cleared out this area properly, I don't remember where most of the items are, so... That said, this isn't a, you know, how to be the absolute best Dark Souls player. This is me talking about, you know, the lore and stuff, so I think it's probably okay if I skip most of the Darkroot Garden items. It's not really... none of them are really particularly relevant. I do want to show you these fucking terrible, awful things that I hate. Remember I mentioned cats? Yeah. Whoever was responsible for the art direction of Darkroot Garden clearly was not fond of cats. I personally am quite fond of cats, but look at that. That is what we in the business call a cat that is fucking jacked. I mean, look. Jesus. Yeah, basically these cats kill you with cartwheels, which is a strange thing for them to do. And they are cats, they are feline. But, yeah, the easiest way to deal with them is to get their attention, which I have done, and then hide in the trees, because they can't get through these trees. And then shoot them with arrows, which is how I deal with most of my problems in this game. You know, trap it, shoot it with arrows, problem solved. Look how fast they go. What kind of absurd natural creature is this? Perhaps it's not a natural creature, after all. This is the way to the grave of Artorias, and, the, Covenant of Alvina seems to be relating to protecting said grave, so maybe these are, you know, her equivalent of Silver Knights. But, I mean, you know, she is not one of the Great Lords, so as you can see they shimmer out, so they almost certainly aren't natural creatures. And frankly, you could probably tell that just by looking at them. No natural creature is that jacked. Certainly no cat. Oopsie daisy. Okie dokie. We're okay, we're all good. So yeah, all of that stuff I was saying, plus also... I've been thinking I should talk a little bit about something that occurred to me recently, which is that, there's an interesting... Well, Dark Souls is basically a meditation on, you know, what divinity is and what myths are and how divinity and myth form. And one of the really interesting thing is that, the 4 gods who have explicit reasons for being divine, the 4 great lords, all of whom we've killed, I suppose, apart from... Yeah, we the Witch of Izalith, the Grey Lord Nito, we haven't killed Gwyn, because that's ostensibly our goal, to go kill him and become the new god, new boss god. Big god on campus. Yeah, so... The thing about that is, there's a lot of gods in this world. There's a lot of gods referred to in descriptions. The only gods we ever meet are explicitly the family of Gwyn. There's Gwyn himself, who clearly exists because Nito exists, and so on. So, yeah, like, there's, apart from the four great lords, like, there are a lot of other named gods, you know, there's, and unnamed, there's the mysterious blacksmith deity, there's, Velka, of course, is a major one. There's only 3 of these things. I think that's 3 are killed now, so I'm alright. Velka is another major one, of course. Then there's the briefly mentioned flame god Flan, you know, who apparently Guinevere ran off and married, which is interesting. But, you know, why is Gwyn a god? Because he took a lord soul from the flame of you know, existence and creation and all of that fun stuff. That's why he... Oh, hello, mushroom. Aren't you a cutie? I really like mushroom people in... Not just in games. This is a weird thing about me. I can't fucking stand mushrooms in real life. They creep me out. But mushroom people in... You know, in games, in comics, in stories, whatever. I really like mushroom people. They're really cute and I like them. That one's gonna kill me though, so... There actually is an item over there, otherwise I would not be antagonising something that can kill me in one punch. But, yeah. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so yeah, Gwyn and Gwyn's family are all divine. What about the other individuals? I've speculated that they're people of the same, you know, the same culture as, you know, from whence Gwyn himself came. But what if that's not the case? What if one group of gods existing is... Oh, I'm out of... I'm an idiot. I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls 3, so I keep forgetting that this uses like a weirdly Vancian system where you have a certain number of charges for your spells instead of being able to... basically having a mana bar. Please don't kill me. Ah! I should probably just have stabbed them all instead of doing this. Anyway, I don't suppose that matters very much. Right. The reason I did that was because this has an ember in it. And I do feel like embers are important enough that I should, you know, grab them all. So without further ado, I'm going to try and remember the way to the grave of Artorias, which I think is back over where Alvina was, so... Is that down here? I think that's down here. Anyway, yeah, so... What if the existence of individuals who could reasonably be called actual gods, you know, the stories about those people exist because they existed, but perhaps other, What are you doing, plant man? You can't climb ladders. Ladders are for people. Anyway, silly tree ant. Rabbits are for tricks. No, wait. Yeah, I'm not very well. I might have mentioned, I might have not. I don't honestly remember. But, yeah. So, some of these gods have clear evidence of their existence. Velka, there is, you know, the priests and priestesses of Velka have power. You know, their capacities exist in that sense. Ah, here we go. It's, but, you know, the only mention of Flan is that Guinevere left and went to go marry him. So, is this the kind of thing where you get individuals from different, you know, mythic groups marrying people from other groups? You know, like the Norse gods with the Aesir and the Vanir, which are basically the same kind of thing, but different? Or is it, you know, literally that some of these people never existed and their divinity, so to speak, came into existence in exactly the same way that divinities do in real life, which, if you are like me, not someone who you know, I'm not like an atheist exactly. I'm sort of, I don't know, it's complicated. I'm not unwilling to believe that gods could exist. I just don't think there's any actual evidence. And I'm not a kind of like, wow, religion is for idiots kind of type of person, because actually religion is really important to a lot of people and very useful in their lives. But, yeah, like, you know, stories are told, and stories are told, and stories are told, and oral tradition works its way down over thousands of years, and then you get stories about gods. Anyway, this is the entrance to the grave of Artorias. So, time to go. Oh, I'm gonna lose this fight so badly. Yeah, this. I'm probably gonna lose this fight. It's been so long since I did this. But to put it simply, I suppose I should talk about Artorias a bit, after having rambled vaguely about my ideas regarding divinity. So Artorias is a legendary figure, not unlike... You know, there are a lot of characters in this world who are not gods, and they're not mortals. They're, you know, they're great heroes and champions. So, doggy, yay! It's a puppy. The best thing about this fight is the fact that you're fighting a wolf who doesn't, you know, he doesn't wolf you. Like, this is a wolf who knows how to sword fight. Is that not amazing? That's just fantastic. So yeah, Sif is quite a tough fight because Sif does a lot of damage, moves very fast, and has huge AoEs on... I don't actually know if it's a boy wolf or a girl wolf, or some other kind of wolf. Yeah, so it's been a long time since I did this fight, so hopefully I can manage it, but if I can't, don't yell at me. Not that I think anyone would yell at me anyway. Anyway, that spin attack is really frustrating because it will always break your guard on the second hit. Am I just... See? That's exactly what I was just saying. Yeah, so Artorias is known as the Wolf Knight, and as Artorias the Abyss Walker. Artorias is, you know, sort of like a noble knight figure who goes around helping people like they are. And it's interesting how varied the Knights of Gwyn are, because we find out over the course of stuff that, you know, the four knights are Gwyn's four knights are Artorias, Ornstein, Kieran, and finally Hawkeye Gao. Or Go? Or something like that. So, yeah, and they're all very different individuals. We've fought Ornstein, and Ornstein is very much a golden knight in shining armour. And was the leader of the Dragon Slayers, presumably. What we know about Hawkeye Gao, we mostly know from the ring that we got from the giant. So presumably he knows him in some way or other. And he was a great archer, the leader of Gwyn's archers, and responsible for, you know, dragon hunting. The same is true of Ornstein. Ornstein is the Dragon Slayer. He is the leader of the knights who slew dragons, presumably the Silver Knights, because the only four knights of Gwyn that we ever actually hear about are those specific four individuals. And yeah, Gao's archers, you know, would shoot down the dragons, and then the others would stab them up. And Kieran is an assassin and isn't very knightly at all. So yeah, what's up with that? And finally, Artorias is more of a wandering solo figure, not a knight of, you know, for lack of a better term, a knight of, oh, what's the word? Anyway, so yeah, interesting things to note here. Here we have a corpse, and you can tell it's a female corpse because she is wearing a raggedy bra type thing. So yeah, the item we found is the ring, the hornet ring. Where is it? Here we go. Like I said, did I say this? I don't remember. Anyway, there's one ring for each of those 4 Knights of Gwyn, who I always understood as leading different sections of his organisation. So, the Leo ring, belonging to Ornstein the Dragon Slayer. You know, he led I think he might have led the Silver Knights, or he might have led some kind of Dragon Slayer legion, you know? The Wolf ring is Gwyn. Sorry, I'm really not very well. The Wolf ring belongs to Artorias the Abyss Walker. And there's always this sense of Artorias being more of a lone wolf. He didn't fight with other people. He was sort of a mendicant, or a... oh, what's the word? You know, the knights who wander around helping people instead of doing other stuff. Then there's the Hawk ring, which was Hawkeye Gao, who led the Great Archers, which took down high-flying dragons. So, you know, that's, you know, the Dragon Slayers and the Great Archers, and then Artorias presumably by himself. And then there's also Lord's Blade Kieran. Kieran is an assassin. Possibly she led assassins, but possibly she was just the assassin herself. Anyway, there's an implied connection between her and Artorias, possibly a romantic connection, which is why it's interesting that here, at the grave of Artorias, which may or may not be his actual grave, there is a body that has her ring. So yeah, it's never really explained who all these swords belong to. But my personal belief is that these are the swords of individuals who came here to try and claim Artorias' legacy, his covenant with the creatures of the Abyss that allows him to safely traverse the Abyss. Because he was the only person who ever really went into the Abyss and came back. So, yeah, well, one other thing to note is that the music in this fight, most of the boss fights in the game have music that could be referred to as apocalyptic, or, you know, it's big, angry, scary noises. It's not anything, you know, it's not a noble tune, it's not any kind of, that kind of thing. It sounds like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, you know? But in certain fights that's different. One of them's the Moonlight Butterfly, which has a sort of ethereal tone. One of them is here, fighting Sif. Sif has quite a heroic theme, but also a theme tinged by sadness. So, yeah. Eventually what we find out is essentially that the reason Sif is guarding this grave, and the hundreds of people who've come to try and claim Artorias' ring, have been, you know, laid waste to, is because the Abyss is super dangerous, and no one should really ever interact with it. So Sif is essentially protecting the world by protecting the ring from anyone who might use it to go do stuff. So that's all from me for today, I think. We will pick up next episode with it being time to go to New Londo. And I'm sorry if I've been a little bit floaty in the brain. I'm not very well, but I'm trying not to miss too many episodes. Anyway, that's besides the point. Bye!